ततः प्रविश्यमुवाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं यं गुरुं हि श्रियं सत्यः प्रज्ञाभक्तिविनीतयः दीप्तिश्चारुव्रता नित्यं तं गुरुं प्रणमाम्यहं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। 94 सारसनातेन यने तायेव करौ सयेव कृतकृत्यः यायेयौ यो भर्गम् वदतीक्षेते सदार्चतः स्मरति अतिमृदुलौ मम चरणौ अतिकठिनं ते मनोभवानीशा इति विचिकित्सां सन्त्यज शिवकथमासीद् गिरौ तथा वेशः धैर्याङ्कुशेन निभृतं रभसादाकृष्य भक्तिशृङ्खलया पुरहरचरणालाने हृदयमदेभं बधानचिद्यन्त्रैः प्रचरत्यभितः प्रगल्भवृत्त्या मदमानेशमनः करीगरीयान् परिगृह्य नयेन भक्तिरज्ज्वाः परमस्थाणुपदं दृढं मयामुम् सर्वालङ्कारयुक्तां सरलपदयुक्तां साधुवृत्तां सुवर्णां सद्भिः संस्तूयमानां सरसगुणयुतां लक्षितां लक्षणाढ्याम् उद्यद्भूषा विशेषामुपगतविनयां द्योतमानार्थरेखां कल्याणीं देवगौरी प्रियमम कविता कन्यकां त्वं गृहाणा. So the verse 98, which we finished in the last class, we told you is composed in Sraddhara meter. The only verse in Sivanandalahari which has been composed in this long meter. So this was composed primarily to convey the whole idea that was in his mind in just one verse. So he has chosen a long meter. And he said, "Hey Ishvara, so kindly accept this kavita as a kanyaka to you. Kavita kanyakam tvam grihana." And this kavita kanyaka, so we discussed in great detail. There are 12 epithets in this verse. So each of them can be interpreted to suit kavita as well as kanyaka. So this is how brilliant examples of Shlesha are done. Kalyanim Kavita Kanyakam Tvam Grihana. Now, the verse that we are going to read now, the last but one verse. So here he prays Ishvara, may you come in front of me. Kavita Kanyakam Grihana, when you say, I am offering, please take, who is there to take? So he wants Parameshwara to come in front of him and then so receive this Kanyaka. Okay? So as if that was the idea, he is composing the following verse. Idante yuktam va
Idante yuktam va
Idante yuktam va Paramashiva karunya jalathe Paramashiva karunya jalathe परमशिवकारुण्यजलधे गतौ तिर्यग्रूपम्
गतौ तिर्यग्रूपम् गतौ तिर्यग्रूपम्
तव पदशिरो दर्शनधिया
तव पदशिरो
दर्शनधिया तव पदशिरो दर्शनधिया हरिब्रह्माणौ तौ
हरिब्रह्माणौ तौ
दिवि भुवि चरन्तौ श्रमयुतौ
दिवि भुवि चरन्तौ श्रमयुतौ दिवि भुवि चरन्तौ श्रमयुतौ
कथं शम्भो स्वामिन्
कथं शम्भो स्वामिन्
कथं शम्भो स्वामिन् कथय मम वेद्योऽसि पुरतः कथय मम वेद्योऽसि पुरतः कथय मम वेद्योऽसि पुरतः हे स्वामिन् कथय हे स्वामिन् कथय शम्भो स्वामिन् Shambho is the one who yasya smaranat shambhavati saha shambhu, the one who causes prosperity, so he is shambhu. So smaranamatrena, so that is the idea in using this word shambhu to address him. Hey Swamin Shambho Kathaya, see, please tell me what. Tell me what? Vedyosi purataha kada. Kada purataha vedyosi. Purataha means in front of you. Vedyaha, see, the word Vedya, see, Vidhatoho Nyat Pratyaya. That is in the sense of Yogya. See. So Vetum yat yogyam tat Vedyam. Vetum yogyam Vedyam. Now he is asking, when is it that you are going to become evident to me, for me to see? Vedyosi. Vedyosi not intellectually. Purataha. So I am keeping this kanyaka to give it to you. So when is it that you are going to come in front of me and receive this kanyaka? So as if this is the idea, he is presenting this. He says, Idante yuktam va Paramashiva. Hey Paramashiva, Idante yuktam va. Is it appropriate for you? Is it appropriate for you? So appropriate for you not to come in front of me. That is it. Is it appropriate for you not to appear? I want to see you in person. Idante yuktam va Paramashiva karunya jaladhe. This yuktam va is a very interesting question because Paramashiva himself wants to see Paramashiva. Shankaracharya is Paramashiva. Is Shambhor Murtis Charati Bhuvane Shankaracharya Rupa. There is a verse. You know that verse? You better learn. Ajnanantargahana patitane. Ajnanantargahana patitane. Ajnanantargahana patitane. Atmavidyopadeshaihi. 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 Tratum lokan. Tratum lokan. Tratum lokan. Bhavadavashikha. 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 Tapapapachyamanani. 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 papachyamanaane muktva maunam
मुक्त्वा मौनं
muktva maunam vatavitapinah
वटविटपिनः वटविटपिनः
मूलतो निष्पतन्ति
मूलतो निष्पतन्ति मूलतो निष्पतन्ति
शम्भोर्मूर्तिः
शम्भोर्मूर्तिः शम्भोर्मूर्तिः
चरति भुवने
चरति भुवने चरति भुवने
शङ्कराचार्यरूपा
शङ्कराचार्यरूपा
शङ्कराचार्यरूपा. Very beautiful verse. So I will not delve deep into this, but basically what I wanted to say was, so this verse describes, it is the same Shambhor Murti in the form of Shankaracharya. Why did that Murti took this particular form? That Murti took this particular form just to ensure that people who are just burning in the fire of Bhavadava Shikha. Bhava is samsara. So they are burning in the forest fire of samsara. So in order to help them escape out of this Tapa Papachyamanan Muktva Maunam. So the Dakshinamurti was just keeping quiet. Maunam Muktva Vatavidapino Mulato Nishpatanti. From the base of this tree, so this Murti came out. Okay, and this Murti is just wandering. Okay, so all around, just to help people come out of this. Shambhor Murti Charati Bhuvani. In which form? Shankaracharya Rupa. So this verse, see, maybe when I was even 5, 6, I would have just got it. So because my grandfather is so fond of this verse, so we will keep on quoting this. Shambhor Murtis Charati Bhuvane Shankaracharya Rupa. Okay, now this is interesting because he is asking, Isn't Yuktam Bhavana, are you going to come in front of me? Who is asking whom? This fellow is asking himself. Right? So if it is Shambhor Murti, he is asking himself. He is asking himself is also possible. See, is also possible. I have seen, so I lived in a campus. So this campus was Madras University campus. This Madras University campus. Each campus will have its own director. Who will be the director? One of the faculty members will be the director. If he goes and sits in another office, in the chair, he will be the director. So now, as a head of the department, he will go and sit and sanction leave for himself. So as a professor, he has to apply for leave. So who is sanctioning, who is requesting, both are one and the same. Okay. So similarly, the Shankaracharya Rupa, see, when he is in this avatara, he wants to see that Shambhor Murti. Shambhor Murti. So here, see, Katham Shambho Swamin. Now he is asking this question. See, you can't tell me that it is not possible for you. You can always show. This is only some avatara and you can show that form. And you are anyway Swamin. Swamin means the one who is samartha to do things. Okay, you are the Lord. So you can just present yourself. And here the interesting phrase is Karunya Jaladhe. Why is he using this phrase Yuktam Va? Yuktam Va, is it appropriate for you? This is the question. So as a person who wants to see you and offering this Kanyaka to you, you should just come and then receive this Kanyaka. And you are anyway a Karunya Jaladhi. Karunya Jaladhi means you are an ocean of compassion. As an ocean of compassion, you can't just make me wait like this. That is why Idante Yuktam Va. There are some fellows I know. So, no reason will be there. I have seen. Nothing very important. But they just want to show that they will make people wait outside their room. I have seen such cases. Nut cases. Okay, because they want to pretend as if they are very busy inside. Nothing. So these are all some human tendencies. So here, Karunya Jaladhe Idante Yuktamba Paramashiva Karunya Jaladhe Gatau Tiryagrupam Tava Padashiro Darshanadhiya. These people who is Brahma and Vishnu, he is narrating this episode. Hari Brahmanau Gatau. Hari Brahmanau Gatau. This Hari and Brahma, they went. Katham Gatau. Tiryak Grupam Grihitva Gatau. This Tiryak Grupa. Tiryak. So this is used in texts on astronomy, mathematics also. Tiryak Rekha means something which is horizontal. Okay. And two rekhas that will be described. So this Tiryak means this one. This horizontal. So this Tiryak Rupam, normally this is used to refer to those who have growth horizontally. So the human being has a vertical growth. Okay. So these jantus have the horizontal growth, particularly this hog, etc. If you see, more the horizontal growth. And this sometimes Pakshi is also something like that. If you just stand, so this will be more long than some of them may be exceptional. But anyway, so this is what is Tiryak Rupam. The main body is horizontal, okay, not vertical. Okay, so these two people, leaving their own forms, they took these forms. Why? Just to see you. Gatau Tiryagrupam Kau Gatau Hari Brahmano Gatau Padashiro Darshanadhiya. Padashiro Darshanadhiya. Sequentially. So the Hari went to see the Pada and Brahma went to see the Shiraha. So they took the forms of hog and swan. So they went there. Darshanadhiya. Dhihi here means Icha. Dhihi is a general word. So Kama Sankalpa, Vichikitsa, Shraddha, Shraddha, Dhriti, Adhritihi, Hrir, Dhihi, Itetat Sarvam Mana Eva. Here Dhihi is used because so they had determination to go, determination to see, and therefore they did not mind taking this form also to go and see Parameshwara. Therefore he says, Hari Brahmano Gato Tiryagrupam Davapada Shiro Darshanadhiya Tau. What happened? Tau Divi Bhuvi Charantau Shramayutau. What happened ultimately? Divi Bhuvi Charantau. They have been wandering. For a long time they had been pursuing their journey. Shramayutau. Ultimately, they could not make it. Therefore, Shramayutau eva astam. So they just had to strain themselves, but they could not accomplish what they wanted to accomplish. Now, this being the case, these two devatas, okay, who are very powerful devatas, in spite of taking this particular form, if they could not see you, then he says, Katham Shambho Swamin Kathaya mama vedyosi purataha. Hey Swamin, mama katham vedyaha. See, there are two aspects to this. One is from the poetic viewpoint. So here katham vedyosi is a certain expression which can tell that initially he felt like seeing, but then he reconciled himself by thinking this episode. So this is not a desire, even they could not ultimately accomplish. How am I going to accomplish? Okay, so let me drop that idea. It is a samarpanam, I don't want him to. So you can think of, okay, so a reconciliation that initially my desire was like this, but then I will drop it. So this is one way of looking at it. And if you take it this way, that you are not going to become evident to me in front is not directly conveyed. Katham vedyosi purataha is a question. So when it is presented like this, this is an example of what is called arthapatyalamkara. He has used it in many places. I'll just tell you, you can take the definition. Arthapatti swayam siddhet.
Arthapatti
Swayam siddhet. Arthapatti swayam siddhet. Padarthantaravarnanam.
Padarthantaravarnanam.
Sajitastvanmukhenenduhu. 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 Kavarta sarasiruham. Kavarta sarasiruham. Kavarta sarasiruham. Arthapatti. In fact, if you look at the texts which deal with epistemology, Arthapatti is also considered as a pramana. Particularly Mimamsakas uphold this pramana. So there the Arthapatti pramana means you don't have a direct evidence, but something which makes you get convinced that this is what should have been taking place behind the screen. So there it is called Arthapatti. Arthasya apattihi arthapattihi. Adrishtasya arthasya. Okay, now here what we find is, so the question is, Katham Shambho Swamin Kathaya mama vedyosi purataha. So because he has narrated that story before posing this question, so in the light of that story, even if those people cannot succeed in seeing you, how is it that I will be able to succeed? Which means that it is impossible for me. The impossible for me is not directly stated, but through this episode he has indirectly stated that, and therefore this forms an example of Arthapatti. Arthapattihi swayam siddhet. Kim siddhet? Padarthantarasya varnanam siddhet. Though you don't say explicitly, Padarthantara varnanam yatra siddhet. So the example, standard example that is given is Sajitaha tvanmukhena induhu. See, tvanmukhena, so he is looking at the face of his Naika. Naika, the beloved, and he says, tvanmukhena induhu jitaha. Okay, induhu jitaha. So you have beaten the beauty of even the moon, your face. Sajitas tvanmukhena induhu. Kavarta sarasiruham. What to speak of? The lotus. So this, that it is also won by you, is something which is indicated. So anyway, so I will not get into more details, but this is one of the alankaras that one can think of in this verse. Padarthantarasya varnanam. Okay. that the beauty of the lotus has been beaten by you. Does it need to be stated? So is the idea there. Anyway, so here the other alankara which one can think of in this verse is the use of the phrase Karunya Jaladhe. This Karunya Jaladhe is employed as a qualifier to Shambhu. Shambhu is the Visheshya Pada here. There are a few others. Swaminna is there, Karunya Jaladhe is there. This Karunya Jaladhe is a certain phrase that is indicative of a certain demand that you make. This is where the alankara parikara comes. What is the definition? Alankara parikaraha. Alankara parikaraha sabhipraye visheshane. Sabhipraye visheshane. Sabhipraye visheshane. Sudham shukalitottam saha.
Sudham shukalitottam shaha.
Sudham shukalitottam saha. Tapam haratu Shivaha.
Tapam haratu Shivaha. Tapam haratu Shivaha.
So wherever you employ a certain visheshana with a certain idea in your mind, so if you have a certain idea in your mind, so then this parikara alankara will come. So alankaraha parikaraha sabhipraye visheshane. So here the visheshana is karunya jaladhi. So since you are a karunya jaladhi, whether I am fit or not, you have to necessarily descend and listen to my desire. Okay, so that is the idea. So karunya jaladhi is a certain way of addressing. So it is like, so you go and approach somebody for some donation. I have heard from so many people that you are like a karna. Okay, suppose you want to say that. So you say that because you want to just try to make him think, yes, I have to give. Okay, that is, so that is like this Karunya Jaladhe. So you address Parameshwara. Then you say, please give me this. Okay, so that is the idea. So Karunya Jaladhe is a Visheshana for Shambhu. Okay. So therefore, in the standard example, Sudham Shukalitottam Saha Tapam Haratu Shivaha. There, see, May Parameshwara Vaha Tapam Haratu. May he eliminate the heat that you are experiencing in your own mind. Tapa. Haratu. But he is describing Parameshwara as Sudhamshu Kalitottam Saha. Sudhamshu is moon. So you, the person who is bearing Chandra in your head. So it is said because this Chandrasya Tapaharanam Prasiddham. Understand? So Chandrasya, Surya generates Tapa. And when the moon arises in the night, Tapaharanam Prasiddham. And to indicate that, so he is using wherever there is a Visheshana that is employed, which will be helpful in achieving what he wants to achieve. Okay, so that will be called Parikara Alankara. Okay, that way this has two Alankaras in this. Let us read. Idante yuktam va Paramashiva Karunya Jaladhe Gatau Tiryagurupam
Tapadashiro Darshanadhiya Harir Brahmanauto Divibhuvicharanto Shramayutau Katham Shambho Swamin Kathaya Mama Vedyosi Purataha.
In this verse, this Gatau, I was just saying they went. Okay, So here Gatau should be understood as Praptau, because there is a Charantau already. There were one that verb is there. Okay. So Praptau. Kim Praptau? Tiryak Rupam Praptau. Okay. So Hari Brahmanau, they too took these forms. Okay. So that is how you have to understand. Okay. This verse 99 is composed in Shikharini. That is where he started. Kalabdham, Chudalankata. They are all in Shikharini. Okay. Now we move on to the last verse. Stotrenālamaham
Stotrenālamaham Stotrenālamaham
Pravachminamrisha Pravachminamrisha Deva Virinchadayaha
Deva Virinchadayaha Deva Virinchadayaha
Stutyanam Ganana Prasangasamaye
Stutyanam Ganana Prasangasamaye Stutyanam Ganana Prasangasamaye
Tvamagraganyam Viduhu
Tvamagraganyam Viduhu Tvamagraganyam Viduhu
Mahatmyagravicarana Prakarane
Mahatmyagravicarana Prakarane Mahatmyagravicarana Prakarane
Dhanat Tushastomavat
Dhanatushastomavad Dhanatushastomavad
Dhutastvam Viduruttamottamaphalam
Dhutasvam Viduruttamottamaphalam Dhutasvam Viduruttamottamaphalam
Shambho Bhavatsevakaha
Shambho Bhavatsevakaha Shambho Bhavatsevakaha
Viduhu, see, appears twice in this verse. He Shambho Bhavatsevakaha Viduhu. He Shambho Bhavatsevakaha Viduhu. So there is another phrase that you find in the first quarter of the verse. Virinchadayaha Devaha. There also in the second quarter you find Viduhu. Viduhu means this is how they know you. Okay. Te evam Viduhu. Virinchadayaha evam Viduhu. Then we have Bhavat Sevakaha evam Viduhu. So here this starts with an interesting phrase. Stotrena alam. Stotrena alam. What does that mean?
Stotramastu.
Yes. Alam. Enough, see, enough is true. Enough for or enough of. See, suppose you use Chaturthi. Okay. Bhashanaya alam. Suppose you say. So this means, so this person is capable of. That is what it actually means. So one is capable of, the other is enough of. Okay. So he is fit enough to do something. So there you may have to use, there also you can use enough in a slightly different way. Okay. He is qualified enough to occupy the position of the director, suppose you say. Then you have to use Tritiya or Chaturthi. That is Chaturthi. Saha Bhashanaya alam. idam padam alankartum alam. Suppose you say saha idam padam alankartum alam, means he is fit for, okay, he is capable of. So that is the sense Chaturthi will give with alam. But when you use with Tritiya, already some activity should be going on, and you say, so please stop the activity. Okay, enough of talking, enough of dancing. Okay. So enough of singing. See, so my father once made a joke. Okay, after somebody went, my mother, so Navratri somebody sang. After that person went, my father said, Papa, you are nikka vekkradhukulla peri paada aiduchu. She just kept on singing. It was not even appreciable. Okay, apaswara. So he was saying, there is a nice phrase in Tamil for that. ஒரு பணம் கொடுத்து ஆட சொன்னா ரெண்டு பணம் கொடுத்து ஓய சொன்னாங்க. So you say that you come and dance, I will give you some quantum of money. That fellow kept on dancing. Then somebody went and said, I will give you twice the money, please stop dancing. Okay, come down. ரெண்டு பணம் கொடுத்து ஓய சொன்னா. See, stopping that. That is what is this alam. Tritiya alam essentially means, okay, now he is saying stotrena alam. Stotrena alam means I have composed enough. Okay, so let me put a break here. Stotrena alam. So I have glorified you in all ways through so many verses. Now I am going to put a full stop. Then he says, aham namrisha pravachmi. Namrisha pravachmi. So namrisha pravachmi means I am not saying something which is not true. See? Mrisha means atathyam. Okay. So aham mrisha na pravachmi. Mrishana pravachmi means whatever, I mean, he is indicating that all the description that he has given has nothing to do with hyperbole. It is just a vastu sthiti. Okay. So vidyamanasya gunaganam tasya stotram vidyamanasya kathan. It is in that sense it is stotram. But even then I am going to stop here. Okay. He says he has to defend now. See, he has praised him, eulogized Parameshwar. So is it something which is true or is it something which is a hyperbole? So for substantiating that it is not hyperbole, so he gives a few other things. What are the things that are stated? Devaha virinchadayaha stutyanam ganana prasanga samaye tvam agraganyam viduhu. So devaha virinchadayaha. The word virincha and virinchi, both forms are used. So adanta as well as idanta. So this Virinchi or Virincha both actually mean Brahma only. Okay. More commonly will be seen Virinchi. But Virincha is also listed. See, given Amar Kosha list. Virincha, Kamalasana, something is there. Virincha. Okay. So Virinchadayaha, Brahmadayaha, Devaha. Starting with Brahma. Stutyanam ganana prasanga samaye. Stutyaha means stotum arhaha stutyaha. Okay. So stotum arhaha stutyaha. So among those who are praiseworthy. Stutyanam ganana prasanga samaye. When people were counting. So who is to be considered the foremost among people who are praiseworthy. Gunana prasanga samaye, ganana prasanga samaye, when they were counting. See, we have this verse, no? See, Pura Kavinam Ganana Prasange. You heard that? Mother?
Pura Kavinam Ganana Prasange Kanishthikadishthita Kalidasaha
Adyapi Tattulya Kaver Abhavat Anamikas Arthavati Babhuva. That same phrase, Ganana Prasange, means when they were counting, okay, listing out. So there among the Kavi Kalidasa comes. So here he says he is the foremost. Here among the Devatas. So they themselves declared that you are the foremost. Stutyanam ganana prasanga samaye tvam agraganyam viduhu. Agraganyaha means the one who is to be counted first. So agraganyah tvam agraganyam viduhu ke viduhu virinchadeha devahaya viduhu. They themselves consider. So all those powerful people, they all consider to be the foremost. Tvam agraganyam viduhu. And therefore the stotra that I have made is not something which is mrisha. Understand? So all the devatas unanimously have accepted yourself to be the foremost, and therefore any description that I have given here as you being the foremost, so there is no mrisha there. Okay? So mrisha na pravachmi. Then in the third quarter he says Mahatmyagra vicharana prakarane dhanatushastomavad dhutaha. This is an interesting example that he gives. See, this stotra, sometimes it could be vidyamanasya gunasya dana. Okay? Sometimes it will be avidyamanasya gunasya kathana. That is also done. Say when a minister comes, you have to call him Indra, Chandra, etc. Right? So as long as he is minister, you have no other option but to do. So recently I went somewhere. There is one person who has become some vice chancellor somewhere. So this person apparently instructed other people, okay, other centers, to just hang his photo also along with other photos. Normally in some government offices, so you will find that this president photo will be there and somebody else will be there. So some 2-3 photos will be there. Now in one place I saw some 5 photos. So this center had the photo of the primary center. Then I asked the person, so why have you put this? So we received instruction. I said, where? So he kept quiet. So then Arthapatti Swayam Siddhi. Okay. So that pramana made me. Now this is kind of some silly thinking. Our photo has to be present. So this anyway, so when this person comes, you have to do stotra, whether he deserves or not, whether this is guna or there or not. So sometimes we may have to do, we do that. Okay? As a protocol, we do something. But that need not be necessarily born out of mahatmya. Okay? Stutya by virtue of being in some position. Understand? But when there is a real mahatmya, okay? So wherever there is mahatmyam, so he is real stutya. Understand? The greatness. So he is saying Mahatmyagra vicharana prakarane. So not by virtue of position, but by virtue of the values, virtues that this person, by virtue of the virtues he holds. So he is a Mahatma. Okay. So now Mahatmyagra. See, so Mahatmyagra Vicharana Prakarani, which means, so when people started discussing about whose Mahatmya, whose greatness is something which supersedes the greatness of all other people. See, everyone may have some sort of a greatness in him. So Agra Vicharana Prakarani. See, who is the person who has supreme greatness. So then also you only came first. And in fact, here there is a beautiful simile. The greatness of other people is nothing compared to your greatness. So for that he gives this example. Dhana tushastomavat dhutaha. Dhana tushastomavat means, stoma means gucha, bunch. Okay. Suppose you have the rice which is pounded. So when you pound the rice, then that husk will come out. Okay. That dhanya will be there. So that is what he is trying to indicate here. Okay. So you are like the dhanya inside, and the greatness of all other people is just like the husk. Okay. Tusha means that husk. Tusha vimoka. That's what they say. Okay. This kutanam of the rice makes the vrihi lose its tusha. So dhana tushastomavat dhutaha. The word dhutaha means dhutaha, vidhutaha. These are all words which are used, see, which are dropped to be thrown away. Vidhuta papaha is also a usage. One who has dropped the papa sins. Vidhuta papa. Dhutaha. See, their greatness is just like the husk only. So it has to be just dropped. Further he says, what do they consider? They consider, this they can be either virinchadaya, you can bring them, or you can take this bhavat sevakaha. Here also you can think of various bhaktas here. Okay, Shiva bhaktas. Bhavat sevakaha. Bhavat sevakaha tvam uttamottama phalam viduhu. See, uttamottama phalam viduhu. See, one can seek various things in the world, but the ultimate thing that can be sought after is Shambhov Padam. Okay? So that is to be sought after. So Uttamottama Phala. Once you get this Phala, all other Phala will just become like Tusha. You understand? So all other Phalas will be Tucha. So that is what is sought after. Okay? Tvam uttamottama phalam viduhu he shambho bhavat sevakaha. So and therefore Bhagavad Pada through this verse does not convey the Phalashruti directly. Sometimes you will say, so etat stotra patanena etat phalam bhavati and so on. So various phalas will be there. But here he has a beautiful kavya. He has done a dhvani. Dhvani means indirectly stating. So you are the uttamottama phala means what else can be there in this world but for your stuti. So that is and what is it that one will not get? So that is indicated with this beautiful phrase here. Okay. Now, the Stotrena Alam, as I was just seeing, so I found a very interesting verse. See, the Stotra can be, already there are 100 verses. See. So he could have extended. So there is an interesting phrase that people employ. Okay. So there is a phrase in Tamil, maxim. Alarukku minjinal amurthamum nanjagum. This is one phrase. So if you consume, okay, in a certain measure, which is too much, then what is amrita can also become a poison. It is like some tablet, suppose you take. Okay, this fellow, suppose, assume that this fellow did not get sleep, so he resorted to pills. He took a dozen pills, finished. He will never get up. Understand? Amurthamam nanjagum. See? So this is what it is. This is the phrase. So similarly, one can think of this stotra. So suppose Adi Shankara had read 1000 verses. So how will you read? Okay. So therefore, stotrena alam. Okay. So there is a nice verse, so which I will share with you. See, there is an interesting verse which I found in this context. Repeat the verse. Dhatte paundraka sharkarapi. Dhatte paundraka sharkarapi. Dhatte paundraka sharkarapi. Katutam kanthe chiram charvita. Katutam kanthe chiram charvita. Katutam kanthe chiram charvita. Vairasyam varanaika pikurute. Vairasyam varanaika pikurute. Vairasyam varanaika pikurute. Saktya bhrisham sevita. Saktya bhrisham sevita. Saktya bhrisham sevita. Udvegam gaganapagapi janayati. Udvegam gaganapagapi janayati. Udvegam gaganapagapi janayati. Antar muhurmajjanat. Antar muhurmajjanat. Antar muhurmajjanat. Vishraddham madhura pipushyati katha. Vishraddham madhura pipushyati katha. Vishraddham madhura pipushyati katha. Repeat.
Vishraddham madhura pipushyati katha.
Dirgheti vishramyate. Dirgheti vishramyate. Dirgheti vishramyate. It's a very beautiful idea that has been conveyed. He says, Dhatte paundraka sharkarapi. The sharkara is something which is madhura, tasty. Now, this paundraka is a phrase which has been employed. This is some special variety of sugar cane. Ikshu Bheda is also called paundraka. This paundraka can also be taken as referring to some place. So we have this episode, Paundraka Vasudeva. In Bhagavata we have this story. So it means this fellow is from that place. You can take it that way. Now he is saying anyway, it is a special kind of a candy, let us assume. Dhatte paundraka sharkarapi katutam kanthe charam charvita. How much can you be eating continuously? It is tasty, tasty, tasty. However, he says, drink one bottle of honey. How can it? It may be very special honey from New Zealand, whatever. But then, how much can you take? Okay. Dhatte, katutam dhatte, ka dhatte, sharkara dhatte. Dhatte, paundraka sharkara pi katutam kanthe chiram charvita. For a long time you keep. So that itself will generate tendency to vomit. Okay. So then Vairagyam Varanayika pi. Vairasyam Varanayika pi kurute. Both are okay. So Vairasyam Varanayika pi kurute. Varanayika means a beautiful person. Okay, damsel, let us assume, let us say Rambha, Urvashi, whatever. So how much can you keep enjoying? Okay. Vairasyam varanayika pipurute saktya bhrisham sevita. Then he says, Udvegam gaganapagapi janayati. What is gaganapaga? Gaganapaga means that which came from Swarga, Ganga. See? So Gaganapagapi, a nice phrase. So he wanted to have this prasa, therefore he is Udvegam Gaganapagapi Janayati. So you go and you dip yourself in Ganga. Okay. So you may take some few dips. Okay. So suppose you take some 40-50 dips. That is okay. In summer season it is okay. So in summer season 500 dips means that is all. See, Udvegam Kuruti. That itself will be. So this is a big problem. Okay. Therefore, Udvegam Gaganapagapi Janayati Antaha Muhur Majjanat. Muhuhu Antaha Majjanat. Again and again and again. See, if you go, so 1 or 2 is okay. So beyond that, that's all. So if you do 50 times, so in shivering winter you are finished. So that is what? See, Muhur Majjanat. Similarly, he says, Vishraddham Madhurapi Pushyati Katha. The Katha, narrative. Madhurapi, so it may be a lovely narrative. Okay? It may be a lovely Katha. Even then, Dirgha, so once it is too long, so what happens is, this only generates a certain aversion towards them. See, Vishraddham Madhura Pipushyati Katha Dirgheti Vishramyate. If it is too long, so this will only be generating a certain aversion, and therefore let me stop here. Okay. So similarly, Bhagavad Pada seems to be ending his work. Stotrena, read. Stotrena lamaham pravachmi namrisha deva virinchadayaha stutyanam ganana prasanga samaye tvamakraganyam viduhu Mahatmyagravicarane prakarane dhana sushasto bhavat dhutahastvam viduruttamottamaphalam shambho bhavat sevakaha. The same idea you can even see in Bhagavad Gita. See, yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu Yukta swapnava bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. Dukkada. See, if you do too much, it will be dukkhada. So if you do in limited measure, it will be dukkha. Dukkham hantiti dukkha. So otherwise, dukkada only. That is what people keep doing, engaging with this mobile, WhatsApp, whatever. Just yesterday night, my mother, she did not leave the phone. So for about 15 minutes, so she was just saying, she read some article, okay, where they said, if you keep on watching the computer screen continuously, then somebody has written these are the ill effects, and nowadays children have various kinds of defects because of that. So she wanted to say, you listen to me at 10:30, she called, and I am going to read the whole article for you. Okay, so you can't be seeing the screen all the time. So that is what she said. Okay. So this dukkha you should not be. It should only be dukkha ha. So okay. So we'll stop here. So we have completed our discourse on the Sivanandalahari, which is a fantastic work. Okay. So it is stotra, which has been composed by Bhagavad Pada with great poetic beauty. Okay. So and we found several alankaras. We found several verses which gave amazing similes. See, what is bhakti? I don't think there has been any other work in which you can find with such brilliant examples to define what is bhakti. So you can define theoretically, but with very practical examples we found several verses. So he also brought in, see, various similes to describe our mind. See, sometimes monkey, sometimes peacock, sometimes vanara. So all that is something which is very special to this work, and there are several meters, all that we saw in the verse 98. So we will start something else. So soon after a small break. So we will stop here. Om Sarve Pisukina Santu, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Makaschid Dukha Bhakvet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.